jamesholmes.com weekly webcast. Today we're going to be talking about two fundamental principles when it comes to providing relevant content to your blog and then repurposing that content as part of your overall strategy of filtering viewers, readers, and potential prospects through your funnel. So the example I'm going to use today is a real-life example from something that happened just last night. I was in attendance on a Ustream webcast of an event that took place in California with a major network marketing company that literally there was an attempt made to hijack the value of that particular webcast by members of a competing company. And what I think really, seeing people spam on public forums or seeing people, send spam emails out or links or make disparaging comments on public webcast is not something that's unusual. In fact, I would say to you, especially on a system like Ustream, I see that happen more often than not. The moderator of those casts can simply block an individual that is exhibiting that kind of behavior, and it's not really a very big deal. But the thing that stuck with me about this last night was that it was really very obviously an organized attempt. And it was an attempt made by a couple of individuals that really kind of got found out through the process, are actually in positions of leadership with a competing company. And so it really kind of stuck with me. And this morning when I sat down and thought about what I wanted to do in terms of my content for today, caused me to want to write a blog post about it. And so what you see here is my home base. As we talked about in a prior lesson, your primary blog is your home base. And I went to my home base and I wrote this particular blog post, which is Network Marketing Revolution. I witnessed an attempted hijacking. And what I do is go through in this blog and talk about what happened last night, what I saw, and what I feel are some lessons from what I saw. What you'll see here that I want to point out to you is at the end of this bit of generic training, I did put a link on here to another one of my websites. This is a blog post that I manage that is specifically about the MLM revolution, which is born out of Randy Gage's MLM Revolution, a Manifesto, with a link that is a special link that we'll talk about here in a moment that allows me to track the number of click-throughs that I get as people view that particular link. So that's the first step, is putting, again, a blog post together that has relevant content that will add value for the reader and that will, in the best sense, have a takeaway lesson associated to it. From there, I went in and created a series of a couple of special links. This is a tool called SnipURL, which allows you to take a long web link and basically snip it or shorten it to a smaller, more concise URL. That's one benefit. But from my perspective, the greater benefit is it allows you to track the actual number of people that click on your URL. And so what I've done is I've created one for my primary blog, which is the one I just showed you. And I also created a separate link for my MLM Manifesto blog, which is the blog that is designed to speak specifically to issues related to Randy Gage's MLM Manifesto. And so the reason for that, again, is tracking. Then what I did from my hub, my primary blog, is I pushed out through the spokes in my wheel, or in other words, the other blogs that I manage, this being the Manifesto blog. And again, you'll see that I repurposed that content onto this blog, offering people the opportunity to receive a free copy of the MLM Manifesto just by filling out this form from my website. And I made that comment in my blog post itself that if you haven't yet had an opportunity to read the manifesto, that you can pick up a copy of it, by following this link right here. And that's the whole purpose of that. So with that being done, I then moved into my social network. And what you'll see here is that I went into Facebook and created this note, which is a function within Facebook. You can create extended editorial or informational notes. And as you can see, this is essentially the same content, 99.9% of it, slightly different voice because it is, on a social network, and basically repositioned and repurposed this particular content about the events of last evening. The idea here is to get this out to my following in Facebook, and also get this out to my social media bookmarking sites to create relevant content and to add value to the people that follow me on my social network. What will happen if we were to come back to this, my Facebook account today, I am certain that we'll see comments in support, maybe people in protest, whatever it might be. It doesn't really matter. It's just that people will be extending, I think, and I really believe, commentary on what was written this morning, because it's a subject that is, I think, worthy of comment. This whole idea about how to elevate the professionalism in our industry. The other benefit of it is this is my news feed. And in the news feed of everyone that I follow and those who I tagged in that post, they'll all have access to my note today to be able to read that. So it will gain, I think, a number of reads throughout the course of today. So from there, I then move on to my Twitter account. And as you can see here, the way I've got my feeds for my social media content set up through Friend Feed is that they automatically, for me, when I update my status in Facebook, they will repurpose that and push that out to my social network along with this link. This link will go back to my Facebook account, and this is exactly verbatim the status that I put into my Facebook account after I wrote that blog post. As you can also see on this page, my prior post to that is a specific post that was written to my to my Twitter account, specifically relating to the post I placed on my blog with a link back to my blog. And so, in effect, what I've done is I've created a web of activity around this one blog post. And if you're going to blog, the best practice that I would recommend to you is you find ways to leverage the effort and to get as many eyeballs to see that post and to read that post and have the opportunity to comment on that post as you possibly can. Because again, the idea is you are blogging on topics of relevant content that adds value to the reader, and so you'll want to be able to push that out to as many readers as possible. So again, in summary, start with your hub, your original blog, then with links to track activity. And I'm going to refresh this to see if the activity increases, and then push it out to the spokes in your wheel, which would be your other blogs, your secondary blogs, your social media sites, like setting up a note in Facebook, and then further going through with a tool like Facebook and adding to it a status update that will then get pushed through your social media feeds like Friend Feed, and then from there going to a site like Twitter and putting in your comments to be able to then push back to links back to Facebook, as well as a link back to your primary blog, which again starts the whole cycle again, because we're back at the beginning, which is your hub once again. So that's the lesson for today. And in summary, relevant content of high value to your readers with links that can be tracked and then pushed out to your other blogs and your social media sites, utilizing your social media sites to allow your hub or your feeds to then push those out to your bookmarking sites, and then circling back, full circle back around to your primary blog. I hope this has been of value to you. This has been James Holmes. For more tips and training, please visit my blog page at www.askjamesholmes.com. And until next time, I wish you continued success as you build your business. Have a great day.